There's just a quick little bit of randomness. I made a video in the past on what I do in the winter when this RV is all winterized on doing dishes. I use the coffee pot. I just put water in there, run it through without coffee obviously, and get hot water. And I've found that actually I've kind of adopted that as my way of doing business when I have electricity. If I'm plugged into a camp, it takes 2 minutes to get that water. It's way hot enough, sometimes too hot, and doesn't cost me any extra money, so I'm not using my propane to heat up the water tank. Now, I do have plans to get one of the conversion kits so I can run it off electricity, but I think up until then, this is what I will normally do. But it also is important every now and then to use all your systems, to fire up the propane water heater and make sure everything's working, to run your generator. I like to do all those kind of tests once a month. That is the sound that a propane water heater makes. Well, there's that noise and the dull hum of crickets out there. Another little bit of randomness is the RV refrigerator, especially in a Class B. It's not very big. So what I do on this trip, I brought, I think, all the food I'm going to need for 2 weeks. And as you can see, this little refrigerator, that's kind of rough to get it all in there 2 weeks. So I brought it here in a cooler and kind of a little half cooler too. So I still have some things in the cooler. I keep an eye on it, check it once a day. And basically what I do is I eat that stuff first. When you have a small little Class B with a small refrigerator, it's really important to make sure that everything is frozen really well before you leave. If you buy stuff at the store, if you're not going to eat it within a day or two, you better buy frozen. But what I have here is, you can see I got all the stuff in there, and you still don't want to overpack it. I have room to put another thing in there because I eat stuff. Got the little fan, that helps a lot. There's my freezer section. As you can see, there's not a lot of space in there. So I try to keep other things towards the top, and I keep an eye on them. And as I need to, I rotate things. If this package here starts to get a little too unfrozen, then I switch it with something up top for a few hours and then back and forth. It's not the greatest way in the world to do things, but when you have limited space, that's what you have to do. Another for the Gee Whiz reel. Trees. Trees are the best friend of RVers. They offer you shade. It's also why I'm personally a fan of the removable solar panels, so you can park in the shade and then move the panels out into the sun. Kind of makes it a win-win. When I finally get my full system set up, that's what I'll do. Right now I'm just using the Duracell 600 power pack with a 30 watt solar panel. But why I'm mentioning trees is they can be great, but also you have to keep things in mind. You can see the weather. It's rained a lot here. It's been windy, and I've heard limbs falling all through the woods like the whole time I've been here. So in situations like that, you at least want to check above where you're going to park your rig to see if there's any widowmakers, any hanging limbs that might cause damage. And if you're expecting high winds or bad weather, if you can avoid trees, sometimes that's beneficial. But since I have more time here, I'm thinking it's supposed to clear up. I might switch to one of these other sites under the trees, since I can pretty much go wherever I want. I still think I'm the only one here. If a tree falls in the woods, you can hear it. Big tree just went down. Not too awful far, I don't think. Crash, boom. There's a big storm coming, so I put the bike and carrier underneath this little pavilion thing. Figure what the heck is there. Rain ain't gonna kill him, but it might help. I did something else too. That's where my electric comes out. So I ran it up under the tire. I ran it up to the rear view, side view mirror, and over here to the post. sure that everything's, close it. And I know that my cord is good. I don't think there's any nicks or scratches in it, but if it's going to rain a lot and sit in a lot of water, I thought this might be a good idea. The beauty, I guess, of paying the whopping $11 a day for full hookups is I got electricity, and it's cold. So instead of using my propane furnace, which I fired up actually yesterday just to make sure it works, you should do that like once a month. I'll put my little electric space heater on and warm this place up. See, that's a really good deal. $5 for a wheelbarrow full. That's a pretty decent sized wheelbarrow. But the season's almost over, there's not much wood left. And I probably should have bought some and then cover it with a tarp, but I've just been picking up stuff off the ground every day, making small fires. But that's a good deal. Sometimes I open up the awning just to open up the awning. I'm not really blocking any sun, but it's good to get it dried out. Put a mat out to try to keep the dirt out. This ain't too bad a setup here. Not too shabby at all. One of my favorite things is because I'm dumb, I need these. These are those noodles that you use in water. Just cut a slit in them and you put them on your awning poles, because I doubt I'm alone in being a moron and walking into these from time to time. So these really help a lot. Protect your noggin. I just dumped my tanks, and what I'm pouring in there is actually laundry detergent. So normally I would use ice and dish soap, but this time I'm using just some water and laundry detergent. And I'm going to let that go down in there. And I'm going to do the same thing in the sink, because I've been smelling a little bit of sink. I do my best to get all the food stuff out before I pour anything in the sink, but you still get some smell. So what this is basically doing is you're getting the water and the detergent to slosh around in there and cut some of the grease down off the sides. In the bowl. Alright, YouTubers, that's a good way to try to clean out your freshwater or your gray and black water tanks. Have a great and wonderful day.